I always use these type of beam type torque wrenches because they're simple and they're pretty accurate. I know like most of the wrenches they sell now, the torque wrenches they sell are click type, which they have an advantage because they're like a ratchet and you can fit them in tighter areas, which that does have an advantage. But most of the time where you need a torque wrench, it's not going to be in a tight area. But I did pick this one up. This is an inch-pound one because it's a little shorter. See that? Even shorter than this one. But the big difference, this one was my short one before. But the big difference is the head length. Like this has got the adapter on it. I'd actually have to use a 1/2-inch socket if I took this 3/8 adapter off of it. It'd still be twice as high. So this doesn't fit in places sometimes, even though it's a little shorter. And this one actually is, it goes up to 150. Actually, I used it for 165 before I just ground it out. Like that's 150. That's 140, and then go up to the next notch, it's 150. And then, you know, if you need to go 165, just go a little further. They're pretty accurate, especially like kind of like in the middle of the range. But the reality is that when you're torquing bolts, the threads, like it depends on, you know, like if there's a little oil on the threads or something like that, it's like it's not a perfect science. The main thing I think with the torque wrench is like if you're torquing down head bolts, you want to have them even. That's the most important thing. So that's where you really need it. Sometimes the actual torque that's going to the bolt, it's like if one bolt is going on drier, or it's got a better lubricant, or maybe the threads are just a little tight, you're not getting as much torque. You know, it's not a perfect science. It's the real reason you need it in some applications is because you have to have an even application of torque across the bolts. Maybe you're off 10 pounds or something, whatever. Like if you're putting an intake manifold on, you want to have them. You want to go in order that they say, the sequence, tighten it down the bolts, and then you want to make sure they're even. That's really why you want this thing, because you want to make sure they're even. You can pretty much do it by feel if you got a lot of experience, but you know, you use the torque wrench. But I think a lot of these things are being taken out of favor because you got these electronic ones that'll have an electronic reading, or you have a click. I found the click ones, if you don't buy like a really expensive click type torque wrench, I would not trust any of the cheap ones. I would trust these a lot more than I would trust a cheap click type torque wrench, because these are simple. It's like they don't really, it's like you don't even have to recalibrate these things. The only thing that could possibly happen is this pointer, you might have to bend this pointer to get it back into zero again. So like in this case, this thing's got this thing you can tighten down. You can change where the pointer is. You know, it's like this is actually a pretty good torque wrench. And even though this is graduated in inch pounds, it goes up to 1,200 inch pounds, and you can do the conversion on it, which that's what is that? Okay, that's 100. That's 100. That's 100 foot-pounds. So it's easy to do the conversion in your head because it's like 12 inch pounds equals a foot-pound, right? So this wrench, this one goes up to 100, and this goes up 100 foot-pounds. This goes up to 1,200 inch pounds. The difference is that just one's graduated in the different markings. I like this wrench the best because it's got more graduations on it than increments on it than this, even though either one works fine, but this one's a little shorter. But the only problem I don't like with this one is the length of this head on here. You know, I got the adapter on this one too, so this would only be this big, and this is this long. On this one, it's even shorter than that, right? This right here. That's why I got it. I got to do some work on the rear cylinder on the Sportster, and the frame is kind of tight with that cylinder, so you know, I'm gonna be putting the rocker covers on, and this would get in there just fine. But this, usually when they sell these inch-pound ones, this one was kind of tough to find. I think this is made, This is some kind of new old stock or something, I think. I don't even think it's made in China or nothing. I think it's military spec. It's an old box. It's a real old box, man. So I don't know if it's mirrors. Anyway, but yeah, I think he said it was surplus military spec or some military thing or something. So I picked it up. Yeah, it says USA on it. See it right there. USA, 1990, June 1990. That's what I thought. This is one of the few things left made in the USA. So that thing will last like a million years. They don't get out of calibration. That's the beauty of them. You know, it's like these click torque wrenches, man. You know, it's great. I think they're great if you're like a professional mechanic and you're doing a lot of engines and stuff. They're a lot faster because you're not going to have to be looking at the thing. You're just going to hear, you're going to set it and you're going to hear the click. You know, but these work just as well, a lot cheaper, and you can throw them in your toolbox and not worry about, you know, them getting out of calibration or nothing. So, but this one's really perfect because, like, again, you're looking at let's just do it like that. You know, you're looking at the length like that. And get it, if you take, you know, this off, this, you know, I could take that off. I can use a 1/2-inch adapter on it, but sometimes, you know, you can just put a 1/2-inch socket on there and take this adapter off. But still, this is a lot longer than this, and this one's longer than this. So this will get in. You know, you can look at the lengths too. So this thing, and actually, this thing will, you know, with 600 inch-pounds, you know, so you got, that's like 50 foot-pounds. This one will work for a lot of stuff, man. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. This will go up to 50 foot. A lot of times these inch-pound ones, they'll show you like 80 or 100 inch-pounds, which is nothing. That's usually like a 1/4-inch drive. This is just perfect. So I got enough stuff here, even though it's dirt cheap, I could do anything with it. And if it's like it's a place that doesn't have really good access, a lot of times you could put, I don't put like I use the, if I can't get into place that good, I'll use not the swivel socket for like the regular ratchets. I use the swivel socket for the impact because it's like it's a tighter socket and it doesn't bend as much, and the torque reading will be pretty accurate that way if you got to get in some kind of weird angle. So, but for a non-professional, these are the best ones to use, no doubt.